Hey there, folks. Karshel here. Welcome back. We are going to continue our permadeath run with No Man's Sky in the next iteration. Although I suppose that by now it's been out long enough, I could probably just leave it as No Man's Sky and not worry about the next. We are, as a reminder, in a Class B hauler, fairly decent, but I still want to upgrade to a fighter. Finally have a fairly decent multi-tool, at least as far as number of slots. I like the scanning ability of it. It's got a nice boost there, but if I find one that is Class B or Class A or Class S, I'm certainly going to prefer to have one of those. But with a 19 slot, I'm not doing too bad. I feel like we can actually do a little bit of stuff with that. So I'm not too unhappy about that. I still have not really checked out the bolt caster against sentinels. Before I do that, I really would prefer to get some upgrades in there. They are so much more difficult in this iteration of the game than they were in Atlas Rises that I'm tending to be a little bit more cautious about that. We have a decent freighter, which has not been really put to use at this point. I do believe that there is still a freighter mission out. I will need to go back and check and see how that has concluded. And our exosuit inventory doesn't have a whole heck of a lot to it yet. But that's one of the things I'm going to start to work on, is increasing the number of slots, because I want to be able to have a decent carry capacity. And by nature, I am a pack rat, so I have a hard time getting rid of anything which might prove to be useful, So, hey, I should put this to use right now, though, now that I'm thinking about it. So, a life support module, and I think I can put it in my tech slots, like right there. Okay, solar panel power, 1%. So will that kind of increase my regen on oxygen, or will it just help things not burn through as fast? That could be interesting if it would actually increase it when I'm in a protected area and not burning through it. I have done no research on those kind of things, so I don't know just how good they are. But in past games, I rarely used my tech slots, because when I first started the game, they didn't even have tech slots, so I never got used to that. At least now I am getting to the point where I will use them. Okay, that also will add a boost. I would need an oxygen filter. A shield lattice I think would be a good thing to have. Sodium diode I do not have. I don't even know if I can make that. And so far I have not found a reason to have hazmat gauntlets. Perhaps when I actually have an active farm in the base, that will make a difference. At this point, it has not. So let's see if I can make a sodium diode. Okay, suit inventory. Ion battery. Okay, I do not have a formula for sodium diode. So either that's going to be something that I have to buy off of one of the terminals, or I have yet to learn that formula. My guess would be I have to learn the formula. Okay, those have been scanned. Okay, I remember where we were. The traveler in the station sent us to this glyph. Now, this is the exact same glyph that I had already visited earlier, and even though he sent us here, it was not active. So it was kind of a wasted trip. But that's okay. He's allowed to do that. It was where he died, and or was reborn, I guess. Could be, since that's where he came from. And if he felt that was worth memorializing, so be it. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt this time. And at this point, I am just mining just because I know I'm going to need this stuff eventually. And while I am outside of the ship, I might as well grab it. I think that I am going to jump into the ship and maybe do a little bit of scanning for wrecks, because I believe I am in the system that had good fighters. And when I say good, I mean I was seeing some 38 slot Class Bs. So this trip today might simply be all about gear upgrades and suit upgrades and all that kind of stuff. Now, I need to check my ship and see how fuel is. Launch thruster, so I need dihydrogen. There's some right there. Well, good little sentinel. Finally started paying attention. I was thinking I'm getting away with an awful lot. Okay, and one fuel. I need more ferrite. Oh, that's right. I forgot they made that change. One canister now will actually fill up the whole thing. That's a good change. Well worth doing, in my opinion. Okay, so let's take off. Now, I am watching out for ships showing up on my radar here as potential crash sites. I am looking for factories because I will pick up blueprints and patterns there to be able to construct. And I wouldn't necessarily mind anything else that looked interesting as well. I probably should take the time to farm more larval cores, although I think that that has been somewhat modified. I was reading in patch notes, and I think that they reduced the number of eggs that were available at each location. Well, that's perfectly fine to me, because having 20 plus was like a little bit excessive. Although it was a quick way to burn through 40 minutes. Oh, there's those crystals. I've never seen those before. I've seen them on other people's playthroughs. At the moment, I don't want to deal with them because that's not where my focus is. But they are a mineable item. Not sure if it takes the advanced mining beam or the regular mining beam. We may have to find out one of these days. Well, of course, we're going to have to find out one of these days. Okay, what do we got there? Doesn't look like much beyond a save point. Maybe a trade terminal. At the moment, I'm not carrying goods to sell. You may have noticed that I'm not much of what they refer to as a farmer. I don't go out and just grab a bunch of metals and do massive sell-offs. It is certainly a way to make cash in the game. It's just not one that I find particularly entertaining. I would much rather spend the time flying around and exploring and seeing what is out there than, hey, look, on mineral node, let's just mine the heck out of that. Well, that's not really the kind of place that I was looking for, although I'm going to drop in because it will reinforce my suspicion, perhaps, of what ships come through this area. Turn green. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Thank you, thank you. Now, being that No Man's Sky is open world and somewhat of a sandbox game without a lot of structure behind or beyond just the real basic quests that you get in the start of it, in my opinion, other than just base exploring, the best way to figure out what you want to be doing, whoops, wrong key, is go to your Milestones tab, which you access with the keyboard by pressing P and then Milestones. All of these little things can be considered to be like a mini quest, something that you should work for. Now, I keep talking about wanting a fighter. Well, that's one of the reasons right there. Sentinels destroyed, I am still at 0. I would really like to work on that, but I'm not ready yet. Extreme survival, as soon as you start running into hostile worlds, that will start going up. But all of these are like little things that you can work on doing. Additionally, you can also work on jumping over and improving your faction with individual races. Do that through interacting with them, giving them special items every now and again, that kind of thing. Same thing with the various guilds. Now, the guild things can actually make you some fairly decent money, but it takes a while to get the factions with them. But just in case you're actually feeling like, okay, wait a minute, what am I supposed to be doing here? These are all options. Okay, now I've got another traveler here. I have 2 travelers here. I'm kind of suspecting that if I ask them for information, see, I only have 77 nanites. If I had 100 or more, then I could ask where they came from, but I'm wondering if they would send me right back to that very same grave, which has already been found on this planet. But I don't have enough nanites anyway, so it's not really critical. Okay, ask for directions. Since right now I'm wanting to look at factories and that kind of thing, I'm hoping that that's what he will give me. Trading post. Yeah, I betcha it's here. Trading post. Destination reached. Come on, give me the message. There we go. Yeah, that is a cop-out. But I've noticed it happens with this patch. Oh yeah, see, the ask where you came from is how you get the locations for the glyphs. But that is boy, I can't talk. That is not an option this time because I do not have 100 nanites. I only have the 77. Now, I would do the barter, but I don't have that much cobalt. I am going to give the nanites just for the heck of it. Gives me a package in return. Of what? That's it? That puts me in the category of I got screwed, in my opinion. Credits are easy to come by, nanites are more difficult to come by. Perhaps we can profit from this encounter. Barter. Okay, I'll do the oxygen barter. Interesting spelling on that one. I wonder if that's a glitch. Life support gel. Yeah, whatever. I'm not thrilled with that, but I don't care. Not all that much anyway. Now, I'm going to assume that I've scanned that, and I did. What about that stuff back there? Yep, I did. Smart car ship, explorer ship. Smart car, smart car. And yeah, I call them smart cars because while they may function well and do their job, they just look butt ugly, in my opinion. So hopefully no one takes offense at that. Now, wasn't it sodium iodide that we needed? And at least in this case, there are none available. I like the stuff that's here that's negative 60%. And part of me thinks that that's the kind of thing that I should be picking up to run a trade route with. Because if that is less than half, then it would be over 50% profit if I find the appropriate place to sell it. I'm almost going to assume that the appropriate place to sell it would not be in this system. But that is an assumption. Okay, so far I am not seeing any of the fighters that I wanted. So maybe this is not where I want to be. But I believe it was Churro's system. And this is the only planet that I've really spent time on. Okay, one more species, and I can pick up a bonus of 250 nanites. Each of those was a little bit of a payoff, but if I can find that one more species, I'll pick up the 250, and that's kind of nice. Okay, show me a fighter. Show me I wasn't misguided. No, I said a fighter. Okay, what do we got in orbit? Or that's wanting to park? There's a fighter. So we'll run over there and take a look. Mistress of the Air? Yeah, Mistress of Air. Okay. I'm going to see if he has a sodium diode. He does not. Okay. So back out. 20 slot C. I will decline. But that is the ship form that I'm hoping to acquire. Okay, there's actually another decent one over here as well. Can I get there before he takes off? Dude, wait, dude, wait. Kind of worse for wear, though. And we'll see if he has sodium diode. He does not. There we go. 38 slot class A. That's more what I'm looking for. Even though it's not quite the exact look that I like, I'm sure we cannot afford it, but yeah, exchange 40 million. So we're going to have to do some serious farming, so to speak, or find a crashed ship. But that confirms that they are in this system and available. So now let's go out and look for factories, look for places, and look for downed ships. Now, because that's somewhat a boring activity at times, I may compress time on the video. It all depends on how it goes, but I won't make you folks sit through a lot of tedium if I can help it. Okay, and I think all the ships that are showing up on my radar at the moment are probably inbound to this location. So I will ignore those for now. Now, if there's anything that I see that I'm not paying attention to and I miss, let me know, please. Whoops. There we go. A little easier to see this way. Of course, now I can't see the radar for down ships. Well, crapola. Wonder if anybody's designed a new UI yet. Because it would be really nice to do that, and I wonder if that's even feasible, now that I'm thinking about it. And doesn't look like anything worth landing for there. Not at the moment, anyway. What's this building over there? Just habitations. So there'd be 4 or 5 nanites, and that's it, and that's not enough. Might be a language terminal, might be a stock terminal as well, but that's not sufficient for me to burn the fuel at the moment. Now, when you're doing this, you can, of course, see wrecks if they happen to be right there with you, but they're not all that visible. So I personally am not very good at finding them that way. I'm going to go back to the first person view, even though I prefer the other one, simply so that I can see the radar. I think that that is more reliable than relying on what your eyes may pick up amidst the plants and wildlife of the planet. Whoops, what do we got going down here? Don't know that there'll be much of a reason to stop in, but since it's free fuel, we're going to. At this point, I don't really want to spend the money on a multi-tool upgrade, if they have one. But it can't hurt to do the dialogue with the entities inside. So that being said, watch me make a choice that actually allows me to lower my faction. Okay, so what is it you want me to do? Hazardous loot. Gather copyright. That's not that hazardous. Okay, and anything new over here? Someday, dude, I will understand you. Okay, trade clusters for blueprints. That is the only one that I do not have that they have available, and since I can afford it, And chromatic metal's not that hard to come by. I'm going to grab that. And I will work on building that into my exosuit and put it in my tech slot back here. So that is going to require condensed carbon. So next time I see that, now do you have sodium iodide? Or iodized sodium, or whichever the heck it was. Decommissioned circuit board still there at 60. The welding soap has changed to 49 in this one. I think it was 50 in the other one. Navigation data. Oxygen filter. I need one of those. Or I want one of those. I guess I don't need it. And even though the price is way above where it should be, I'm going to grab it anyway. Yeah, and go back to my suit. And increase the life support tanks by another 10%. I might be missing out on the adjacency bonus if I put them in the front, but I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, good. Don't need to worry about that one. It's not as good as what we have. So I won't feel like I missed out. Few credits. Okay, now, is there any dihydrogen really close? That might be some right there. It is dihydrogen, but I think I need the advanced mining beam, which I don't have built into this one. What do I need for that? Technology module, which I have not been seeing. Okay, so until I actually do that, the advanced stuff is out of range for me. Okay, back into flight. And how far out are you? Oh, not far at all. Okay. Now I've got 3 ships on radar, but I think they were all just circling to get where I was. Okay. Yeah, you can't hide from me. I know you're over here. What I don't know is what you are. Looks like not much, so I'm not going to bother to land. Okay.
And looking at the time, I'm going to go ahead and call this one, folks. I appreciate your being here. Feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you'll join me on the next one when we continue our little bit of a search. Until then, Karshel out.